Good morning, good morning. Hey, Jay-Waz. Can y'all hear me? I am live. Just as we were going live here, I just took a profit, 2 contracts off on this trade. Had 80 ticks. Now I'm shooting for the next target. Gotta adjust my numbers here. There we go. Still got 2 contracts on. Yeah, Jay-Waz, I am hoping we have a better day as well, but so far it's not looking great. I almost didn't even take I took 2 trades this morning, but I almost didn't even take them because the ATR is under a 25. I typically try to stay away if it does that. It's sitting at a 19.8 right now, which is just nothing. So we're printing a higher low from that upper power zone, so I think I'm going to pull the rest here. And I am out. Looks like I got 1850 on those other 2. Here, I'll change this so you guys can see what I'm doing here. So this number goes to 6 because it's 2 contracts. And now this is 75.75. Okay. So yeah, the market is just I noticed when I woke up this morning, it's just kind of flat and choppy again. So hopefully we start to open up here and expand a little bit. But so far, it's not looking great. We had a really thin delta here just after 7. We ticked up from the green zone when it was tapering to that fine little pencil point. So I thought this trade was kind of risky. I went ahead and took it anyway. It never hit my full target. So I took profit here at this tick down from the upper power zone. That was 7 3/4 on that one. Brandon Santiago. Good morning. It's been one whole day and I still don't understand NQ futures. Well, give it some time. Once it starts opening up and starts swinging more, it's a lot more fun. But the last Thursday, Friday, and Monday were not very fun. Very flat, very choppy. And yesterday was a little more of the same. I felt like yesterday was a little better. I was at least in the green for a good part of the day. I ended down, but so it's 8:18 my time, Central Time. Let's check the news out quick. And the news expired, so I got to refresh the page. ECB President Lagarde speaks today at 9:15. That's it. Nothing else going on today. Looks like it might be another boring day. Tomorrow, we have unemployment at 7:30 Central Time. And retail sales at 7:30 for Canada. Not a whole lot else going on there. Hey, I know I've never really covered this, but I don't know if you guys are interested. I never really get any questions on this trading timer, but I thought maybe I'll show you how it works really quick. For those of you that aren't familiar, well, it has news built right into it. So here's our little countdown. This is a candle countdown. So if you're trading the 1 minute chart, you would just click the 1 minute button and it gives you the time until the candle closes. If you're trading the 2 minute chart, you hit 2 minutes and same thing. If you're trading the 15-minute chart, boom, 9 minutes, 30 seconds left for this candle. So I trade the 1 minute. So I usually select 1, and then you can select when you want it to alert you before the candle closes. So if you want to watch a YouTube video or do something else, you can, I usually set this to 30 seconds. And so 30 seconds before the candle closes, it will give you an alert. And you have all these different sounds to choose from. This is the default. You can also click happy bells. There's a cash register in here. There's all kinds of little things in here. I just like to be simple and use the default positive notification, and that's it. So it looks kind of complicated, but that's it. It will give you a little alarm bell at the top here. Watch when the countdown hits 30 seconds, you'll get a little bell here at the top. There it is. And so if you're just visually looking at it, you can look for the bell. If you're listening for it, you can use the audio. But I usually just tuck that away in Quant Tower, and there's a little browser panel that you can open, and so it's like right next to my trading chart in Quant Tower. Anyway, that's how that works. Looks like we're getting another little push down here. Still have the delta falling, so we're still looking for shorts. We are bearish on the 3. Looks like the 5 is starting to turn bearish now. And the 15 is teetering. Looks like we've been in a fairly strong, flat uptrend on the 15 for quite a while. Well, since yesterday morning, anyways. So yesterday, what kind of screwed me up is I had no idea that we had earnings after the close yesterday. And in my previous experience, I typically always find out about earnings like after the giant candles show up on the screen. So I need to find a way to get earnings listed in the trading timer so that I don't have to look it up or remember it. But right now, it's pulling all these news events from Forex Factory. So those will all load in. Just the high and the medium impact events. I don't really care about the low impact ones. But if I could find a way to get a JSON data feed of earnings that affect NASDAQ or NQ, It would be really nice to see those in here, and then it would just tell me right next to the timer that the next earnings report is coming out at whatever time. So I'll have to work on that. But that would be really nice to see, because if we could see that, then yesterday I probably would have just called it quits a lot earlier. And because it's typically really choppy right before that. Speaking of earnings reports, do we have any earnings today? Let's see if I can look that up. What's today? Wednesday, the 22nd. What websites do you guys use to look that up? I know there's a number of them out there, but I would like to find one that has a JSON data export. I don't think there's anything big today, unless I'm just not seeing it. Well, if there is something big and you guys know about it, can you let me know? Because I'm not really used to tracking down earnings reports and when they're happening and all that. JWaz, I think you had a site you were using, didn't you? I'll have to go back to that later and look that up. But yeah, if you guys know of any big impact earnings reports, let me know. Yep, we got the open coming up here in a couple minutes. I don't really want this trading timer dinging at me on this. I got 3 computers in front of me. So I'm going to turn. Actually, I'm going to change that to the hourly. So it'll only alert me once an hour on this one. So don't really want to hear that ding the whole time. Not sure if it's coming through on the stream, so we'll get rid of that. Got about 35 seconds. Go ahead and clean up all my chicken scratch from yesterday. And we're open. We're sitting right under the session VWAP, which is the orange line right there. See if we can get this ATR number up a little bit. We got the signal in the red zone. So like I said, I'm still looking for a short here. Unless the market proves me otherwise. Look at that fat candle. That is a fat delta candle right there. So if it can climb out of this, I will not be looking for a short. Well, that's pushing the ATR up, that's for sure. It's a 46-point candle. Nice, Jay-Waz. What was your entry? If you caught all that, I'd still be in it, unless you're taking partial profits. That's those are some fat delta candles. You want to ride that wave off the 200, huh? Nice. Did that 200 coincide with any of these higher low tick-ups? Maybe the second one's got some bullish divergence on it. Good morning, Raphael. Yeah, my bias is long today too after that news yesterday, or the earnings that came out yesterday, seemed to push the market up quite a bit. And then we gapped up on the next session. You know, if those Delta candles weren't as thick as they are, I would have shorted this right here. That's our tick down from the power zone while the Delta's under the confirmation line. So it is a short. It'll be interesting to see if this one plays out. Good morning, Jason. Tesla launch at open. That was a Tesla launch. We'll see if it comes back down to land. Well, even though those Delta candles were thick, that would have worked. There's 80 ticks right there. See if it would have hit the next target. Looks like it might just be shy of that next target. So at this point, my stop would be at break even. Sitting on top of the anchored VWAP there. My guess is I'd probably get stopped out here, break even for the next remaining contracts. Yeah. So I would have got at least 2 contracts at 80. All right, we got a fat delta here. And a tick up above a rising fat delta is usually a pretty darn good long. That's one of the few times that I'm comfortable taking a tick up from the red zone. If we get one here. That anchored VWAP looks like nice support too. Wouldn't mind trying to snag a limit order there. I clicked just a little too late on that one. I could have snagged a long right there, but I was slow on the trigger. I missed it. So we'll wait for the tick up instead. Here we go. All right. I'm long. At 54.50. Come on, market. What are you doing? And I got stopped out. It's usually a decent one. I would have been better off with my my limit order on that anchored VWAP right there. Anyway, it is what it is. So that is -4. -4 contracts at 80 ticks. ATR's at a 66 right now. Delta's still positive. We got that lower high tick down right there, so it's showing its weakness, but I don't know. It's kind of a no-go zone. Delta's tapering negative. At least it was temporarily. We got the signal underneath the delta. Delta's starting to flatten out now. It's not ideal, put it that way. But as long as we stay above that anchored VWAP, and as long as the delta can stay above the confirmation line, I'm going to stay bullish. All right, if we get this, I was just gonna say, if we get this delta cross to the upside, I'm gonna jump back in. So I'm long again. See how the delta is it's turning back up. Still, it's been positive this whole time, but we're starting to thicken up right there. So I'm trying to get ahead of the next tick up here. Sometimes you just got to be aggressive and just jump in when the delta is moving in your favor. All right, there's 2 contracts off. Good for the next one. Don't even tell me you're gonna tick down here, Mr. NQ. There's that 8 again. Looks like that would have been a better entry. Gotta love the 8. Delta's still rising, so bulls are still in charge. However, if it ticks down and I'm underwater, I'm pulling it. And I'm out. Lost 4 on those 2 contracts. So 2 contracts, 4 points. It moves this to 6. Oops, not that one. This one to -6 or -2. And then a -8 points. There we go. I figured it would do this, but got to keep them losses small. It's the name of the game. Got another tick up above the rising delta. I should have, if I wasn't fumbling around with my calculator, I would have just taken that long there. I could do a limit order. See if I can get tagged in where that was. Oh, I just got picked up. So I am long again here. There we go. There's 2 contracts off. Makes that 6. Closing in on the next target here. Come on, just give her a little push. There we go. There's another contract off. Just have a runner left over. Looks like we might be eyeballing this pivot line up here at 22.036. Jawa says, I'm imagining it's going to be a trend day. I may play this differently than I ever have and just stay long no matter what. Well, that could be interesting. You know how many times I've thought about doing that? And every time I've tried, it never actually worked out in my favor. However, in hindsight, there's so many days I look back and I was like, if I would have just held all day long to the close at the end of the day, that would have been where it's at. But you got to stomach a lot of drawdown in between, which kind of sucks. So personally, I'm going to stay away from that. JWAS, you just need to, if you want to hold longer, just hold longer and use the cumulative delta signals for exits. That usually keeps you in for the duration of the move. The downside is you got to put on more trades, but I'm fine with that personally. So with this last runner here, I'm just I'm going to use the cumulative delta for my exit. And when the delta is nice and thick like this, typically the first close under a thin delta is a conservative exit. The most conservative exit would just be the next tick down. I also thought about just doing that. All depends on what the delta's doing. Had a little pullback there to the 8. That's another thing you could do is hold the 8. If you're in a strong move, the 8 will usually keep you in for the majority of it. And then when you get a close under the 8, that's a sign of weakness. Lots of options. I like to pick and choose and change my exit strategy based off of what the delta's doing. If the delta's looking weak and thin, then I'll take profit earlier, be more conservative. Well, the most conservative exit just occurred at 8:58. That was our first tick down. That's on this candle close right here. Back to the 8 SMA. Signal line sitting under the delta right now. Hopefully the bulls can step it back up and push it up there. There we go. It's kind of a breath of fresh air to see the market actually make a move. It's been a while. All right, I just went and pulled it right there. We closed under the 8. Whoa. Good thing I pulled it right there. 43.5 points on that one. So that brings... I'll change my view so you guys can see. That brings this number of contracts to 7. And it brings this number to 119.25. Where did that candle come from? And see, we closed under the delta right here at 9 o'clock. That was actually an up close candle. I was going to pull it there, but we still had relatively, a good thickness to the delta at that point. Plus, it was an up close candle. So I thought we might have one more push there, but then once we closed under the 8, that's where I drew my line in the sand. Looks like we're bullish on the 3 now. And the 5-minute, it's looking fairly bullish. Delta is right there at the confirmation line, but it's thick, so I would say we are in full bull mode. Just need another entry. Jason, these lower time frames, they seem scary, but if you got a trading timer and you know what you're looking for and you anticipate if you're looking for a tick up in a certain spot, I don't think it'd be too bad. I've never traded the 15 seconds, so I don't know for sure, but I know a lot of people are scared of the 1 minute thinking it's too fast, and it's not. If you know what you're looking for and you got a trading timer, I think it's fine. think you'd be fine. However, speaking of the trading timer, the lowest that this goes is 1 minute. So I might have to add some options on here if we're going to trade lower time frames. If you're going to trade a 15-second, well, yeah, I need to add some more options on there then. You know, I think I am going to give that a try. I'm going to do that, but I want to just finish this week off doing this experiment first. Trading the 1 minute with this new take profit strategy. You know, what's interesting is the first tick down here from the upper power zone, that actually would have got me out at a better entry or a better exit. A little bit higher, not too much higher. If I wanted to simplify that, I would always just take profit on the next tick down no matter what. If this was a 1 minute chart, this would be a short right here on the 15-second. Let's simulate it. Let's see how that one does. Nope, I'd be out right there. It ticked up. 3.5 point loss on that. You do have a rising delta here, but it was relatively weak still under the confirmation line. So that on the 1 minute chart, this is a short I would take every single time. As long as the delta's weak. Looks like delta's gaining some strength back here though. Starting to put in a little bit of a delta squeeze here on the 1. Interesting. Got a weak delta, it's negative. What's weird about it though is that it's turning up at the same time. See that? So it's kind of a dicey one to go short on that. So I'm not going to take it short. There's a little spike to the upside. Delta's gaining some strength back. Almost to that pivot point now. On the 3, we did get a tick up here at 906 on that rising fat delta. The 5 still pretty fat. So I'm still looking for a long. I kind of want to jump in long here, but we're right at that pivot point, which is not a great place to go long. Yeah, 3 and 5 are really strong. It's looking like we're just going to bust right through this pivot point. Or not. Do have a daily order block sitting up here I got to mark out. That could be significant. Looks like that's all the way up here at 22,314. Be a nice move if we could make it up there. Stealth says on trend days with strong momentum, if you're looking to get in, you can try waiting for a tick up from the power zone on the 5 second or 15 second. So far, I've only had one pullback to the 15 second, or on the 15, but 3 on the 5. That does sound like a good strategy. Here's the 15. We've had this one didn't quite hit the power zone, but it was at 902. The last one that was in the power zone was way over here before the open. You know, another great method for these types of trends is just putting limit orders on these candle body, the lower candle body consolidations. It's like right here. There's one. Right here. See how it wicks right down into that? You want it to be a wick. You don't want it to close inside of that. Notice that on this one, here was the candle body consolidation, wicked right into that one at the top. That's kind of my preferred method of entering on these when there's not really a solid cumulative delta entry. But once it wicks into it once, I'm not interested anymore. So this one's already been mitigated, so not interested in entering on that one anymore. That's true stuff. Yep, the longer you wait, but there will be pullbacks. There always are. I went ahead and snagged the. I just said I wasn't interested in this, but I said, what the hell? Threw a limit order on there. 01925. It's not a wick, though. I'm out. They're always see. They're always riskier when it's already been mitigated. You want to get the first one. And here I am. I'm going to pay the price now. I should have listened to my original self. Or not. It's getting bought up quick. Go, go, go. All right, I'm out. That was a small loss, but with that long wick, I feel like I got away with some damage there, potential damage. Only lost 1 3/4 on that one. So that is 4 contracts at 1.75. That makes this minus 15 points. All right. Don't do that again, Tom. Just do what you normally do. Got the delta rolling over now. It is turning negative. It's getting a little thickness in that delta candle. See how we hit that pivot point just perfectly up here? That could be a local top. I have a decent pullback now. Or just might go sideways for a little bit and then move up again. Well, maybe this is a good time to get a refill. I'll be right back. Starting to get a tick up from the green zone here. It's not official. Delta still above the confirmation line. Sellers are stepping back in though. Back down to the 50. Five Delta starting to taper. Yeah, a little bit. We did put in a lower high on the 5 as well at 915. A little bit of bearish divergence there. Delta on the 3 is flashing negative. Well, if we can keep this delta above the confirmation line and we get a tick up near this power zone, I'll take it. Starting to crawl back above the 8 and the 20. Can we hold up here, though? Got the 9:30 candle coming in 1 minute 10 seconds. And we got a tick up here. I am long. It's starting to look a little heads and shoulder-y, though, isn't it? This wick kind of screws that up, but it does kind of look like a little head and shoulders developing. Potentially. Come on, bulls. Push her back up there. There we go. Jason says theoretically we should push to 22,100. Where is that? That's up here. That'd be a nice move. You know what? It kind of feels like there's a lot of accumulation going on. Every time it sells off, it gets bought up right away, but it's just staying flat. Maybe there's a big move coming. Delta is trying to turn back up here. It is turning positive again. Also ticking back up on the 3. The 5's working on it. Schroden says it's worth noting that the traditional cumulative delta is on a significant bearish divergence. Well, good thing that we have the good one and not the not the other one. All right, we are taking down underneath this delta. Delta's still looking relatively weak, but it is pointed up here. If we end up ticking down here, I'm just going to move my stop to break even instead of, I could take a small profit probably on that if we tick down. But I think, you know, because of the fact that the delta's pointed up, I think there's more of a move here. I could be wrong. Delta is fairly weak though here. Just need the bulls to step it up a little bit. Well, I might have to exit completely here. All right, stops at break even. Now the market has my permission to make its move. I know, Shrod, I'm just joking. But you got to admit, this one is better than the other one. The other one sucks. There we go. There we go. There's 2 contracts off. Looking for next target. Well, I would admit that the price movement today is sure as hell better than the last few days. I feel like the market is back. Which kind of sucks because I have to take off earlier today. I got a meeting I got to get ready for. So after 10 o'clock, if it starts to quiet down, I'll probably end the day. Even though I feel like there's probably going to be some good moves later today. It would be nice if I could trade all day, but I can't. Market's still just kind of grinding up here. Not really liking this price action here. We're ticking down below the delta. We're back under the 8. Yeah, I think I'm going to pull it if we tick down here. And I'm out. Let's see. $13 points on that. So those last two contracts. 2 contracts at 13 points. So that brings this to 9 contracts. And this to 145.25. Yeah, I'm up 241. Keep in mind that with this new take profit method, that number's a little deceiving compared to like what I normally do. Because normally I'm all in, all out, right? So if I'm all in with, let's say, 4 or 5 contracts and I make 20 points, then I usually put 20 points on the board. But here I'm tracking it on a contract by contract level. So if I pull that back up, so the total points P&L, that's why I wrote assuming one contract, because I'm actually tracking each contract and where I'm taking profit. So, you know, how many I've taken off at 80, how many I've taken off at 125, how many have taken off that were partials in the positive and negative, and full stops. So if you look at it that way, and if you do the math, here I'll pull it down so you don't have to do the math, but if you were doing the math, it's 483 bucks on micros. If you're trading minis, or if I was trading minis, it'd be 4,800 bucks. So yeah, not bad today. Definitely better than the last few days. Market is, yeah, it's a little frozen. You can see it in the delta. See, that's why we like big fat deltas and we don't like these, don't like them skinny deltas, because this is the crap you have to deal with. And I think I've had my share of dealing with crappy thin deltas lately. So if we start doing this for a considerable amount of time, I'm just going to call it a day. We are putting in a little bit of a delta squeeze for anybody who's thinking of going short. So there is a short setup right here, but delta is negative, but there's not a whole lot of negative slope to the delta yet. It's more flat. You can still take them when they're flat. It's just a little riskier. Simulate this one. So there's the entry. Let's see if it'd be a winner. It's always riskier doing those when you have a strong uptrend and the signal happens above the 20. So it's looking like this is probably going to be a loser here. We have not ticked up yet though, so we'll see what this candle does. You know, it's still good to simulate these. That's why I do that, because it just kind of instills in your mind when it's good to take these and when it's not. It helps with the machine learning in your brain. You got to learn by doing and by clicking. If you don't click, nothing really sticks. All right, so I would be, if I was in that trade, I'd be exiting there. So that'd be a small loss, but it's a loser. And again, it's because we're in this strong uptrend. We're holding above the 20 and the 50. The delta did not have, it was flat, but it didn't really have a negative slope to it. You really want to see a negative slope on the delta if you're going to take those. And ideally, you want to see the delta underneath the confirmation line. A lot of times you don't get that on the first move. You can wait for the second move. So if the delta crossed the confirmation line, you'd wait for the signal to come down here, come back up, and tick down. That's my favorite setup. And here we are putting in another one. But see how weak and spotty this delta is? I'm going to have to start marking chop here. That's it's kind of ugly. Well, so far, every time it's sold off, it's got bought up right away, but this might be the first one where, it did not get bought up. That one held lower. Schroden, I'm trying 1 minute on the main with 15-second, 3-minute, and 5-minute on the right. The background color changed on the 15 second. Okay. So so the 1 minute is on your main, but the 15 seconds on the right. So are you entering on the 15 or on the 1? If you're entering on the 15, how are you timing your entries? I know there's a candle countdown timer in TradingView. It's kind of hard to see. Can you add a countdown to... I don't think you can add a countdown on one of these windows, can you? Oh, entering on the 1. Gotcha. Well, you guys always hear me say 2's better than 1 in this scenario. We got our second tick down, delta squeeze. We got more of a negative slope in that one. So this one might potentially play out. We'll see. We are under the 50 now. You know, haven't had a VWAP touch all morning. We haven't touched the VWAP since... since yesterday. Got the VWAP sitting down here at 941.75. Got the anchored VWAP at 984. Ninja of Sadness, 420 subscribers. Nice. Yeah, yesterday I think we gained like, what, 20 subscribers? It's kind of a big subscriber day yesterday for some reason. Maybe it's because I actually streamed all day long. That might be it. Yeah, Schroden, that's a good idea to just be aware of it. And then if it looks like something's coming up, you can change your main chart to the 15. That would work because it's easy to flip back and forth on your main chart. So yeah, any new people out there, if you haven't subscribed, appreciate the subscribe. Like the stream if you are finding any value in this. If not, then don't. So far, holding below the 50 here. Got the signal line in that lower power zone. The delta did cross underneath the confirmation line, so for that reason, I am looking for shorts. Market does feel kind of heavy. We are starting to put in that tick up from the lower power zone on the 1. Delta's under the confirmation line. If it's really thin, it is a potential long here, but if you want to play it safe, it's probably better to wait. Got the 10 o'clock hourly candle coming in 2 minutes. All right, so had I taken this short, I would have exited fully right here on that tick up from the lower power zone. Still would have been a winner, but would have been a small winner, 4 points. Market trying to push down again. So you see how that long there is not really a great idea when we're crossing under the confirmation line with momentum. It has this negative slope to it right here. So this long has a high likelihood of failing. Which is why I am waiting for a short setup. Just don't have it yet. Now I did take one earlier today in that similar situation, but it was a little different right here. So you see how we crossed under, but when we ticked up, do you see how thin we were? And we were just, you know, we kind of made this little bullish move here. And we still had this rising confirmation line at that point. You know, it wasn't like happening near the power zone. And here, notice how it's different. Like the delta cross happened in a power zone. It's not down here. It's not like the beginning of the move. It's kind of like later on in the move. So this holds much more significance for wanting to turn to the downside. We are putting in our second tick up from the lower power zone. That could be a winner, but I'm going to pass on it. You know, if this big long wick wasn't here, I would be looking to potentially take out this low, which we did. And then I would look at this as more of a broadening formation here. And so then looking for a tick up in after it takes out that low, that would be this next one right here. That would be long that I would consider taking. And it looks like that actually might be potentially playing out here right now. But this wick here kind of screws that whole thing up, at least from a broadening formation perspective. So that's why I was not really looking at jumping in long here. I was waiting for this one to get taken out. So we'll see. We'll see if that one plays out. We'll simulate that one too. Yeah, Jason. Looks like we're looking at the same thing. And the 20 did cross the 50 right there, so this has a high chance of rejecting right here. I'll go ahead and mark off that little order block. We'll see. It would still be a winner, though. We'll see if it hits my first target. Hey, look at that. I got it. So, first target would have been reached. It'd be working on the second. So, darn that wick. That wick totally screwed me up there. Looks like it's working on the potential second target there. Still got this to deal with. And the primary target would be up there at 22.42. Delta's still trying to turn up there. There's not a whole lot of oomph in that Delta, though. You see how it's just kind of, like, price is going up, but the Delta's kind of not all that enthusiastic. So this still could be a short developing here. Well, it did hit the second target. So if I was in that trade, which I'm not, I would have a runner left. We are putting in a tick down here. This could be the short I was talking about. Look at that. She's selling. So the Delta is negative, and signal pulled back up to the red zone. We're ticking down. I'm going to get rid of this. I'm probably going to have to make a move here. So I don't like entering on these big candles, but sometimes you got to be aggressive and just do it. See if I could snag an entry a little higher. This is one of my favorite setups, by the way. I just need to find a way in. Oh, It's selling off too soon. I was trying to get it up here at the 20. Patrick, there's a legend. If someone says trend out loud, the trend day gets canceled. You know, it's funny because the market always does the opposite of what the masses thinks it's going to do. But anyway, this is the setup that I was talking about. I just wish I had a smaller candle. It tried selling off too soon right there. There's still a chance. All right, now I'm tagged short. And we are ticking up with a higher low, which I don't really want to see. So if that closes that way, I'm gonna move my stop to break even. And my stop is now at break even. Come on, bears. Let's do it. Let's take out this other wick here. We can do that. I'll be putting us back down to the 200. Be another 36 points. Oh, come on, don't go up there. Oh, so close. Sell, sell, sell. And I'm out. Break even. Doesn't mean it can't set up again. If we get a tick down in this red zone under that falling delta, I'll jump back in. Bulls are trying to step it up here. Can they do it? Starting to put in a higher low on the 3. That's a little bullish. We also got chop on the 3. We also got chop on the 5. Chop, chop. 2 chop boxes. If we get a third, I'm going to be done. Bull's trying to step it up here. Look at that. Back up to the pivot line. Starting to see a little bit more strength back in that delta. We are ticking down near that upper power zone. The delta is relatively weak, but the way the bulls are stepping it up here, kind of afraid to trade against them. It's not official. It is not printed yet. If the delta looks relatively strong and we have this positive slope on that delta, and it looks like it's going to cross the confirmation line, that's typically not, it's not ideal. You want the delta to be weak and flat. You want it to be more flat, really weak, and then you can pounce on that for a short. But in this case, I might actually be more interested in going long if we tick up above a rising delta there. Yeah, this pivot line is strong, isn't it? It is holding strong. I got a feeling we're going to break it, though, and hit this target. Never did get a tick down there. This move's been too strong on the way back up. Do have a little bit of a speed bump there, though. You can see in the signal line. Got a feeling it's going to make a break. No entry, though. No good entry on this. And we're getting a delta cross on the 1 now. Yeah, an absolute ceiling, but this ceiling, I have a feeling, is going to break. Delta is marching up nicely. It's working at it. It's in that order block now. There it goes. There it goes. It's going to take it. There it goes. Primary target taken out. Too bad we didn't have an entry on that. Or I should say I didn't. You know, the only entry that I really see, we have this little order block here that we wicked into. See, once we hit this order block, we pulled back down, wicked into it. That was a potential entry for a limit order, but at that point, it was looking like a potential short, so I wasn't really interested in a long there. So now we'll see if we make it to the yellow line. JWaz, are you still in your longs? I thought you were going to hold till the end of the day. That was probably a smart move. Well, we got strength coming back. Could be temporary. But we are back above that confirmation line. Jason, you entered at 22,023. Let's see where that is. 22,023.50. Oh. That was right on that that little candle body consolidation I was talking about. That was a beautiful entry. We did put in a very slight tick down from that upper power zone. We'll see what it does here. Ouch. Stealth Ninja crashed. Ninja's kicked out 3 times today. I do not miss Ninja at all. I'm telling you guys, you would be happier with Quant Tower. There's a little bull flag breakout developing there. Looks like it's going to be a fake out. Those always get me when I try to trade those. And looks like we closed under the 8. Put in a little bit of a lower high on the signal. So if I was in a long, that is definitely where I would have pulled the plug. All right, Stealth. Thanks for stopping by. Hopefully we see you tomorrow. And nope, I'm going to probably be calling it quits here pretty soon. I'm not going to give back my profits this time. That's for sure. It's nice to see more movement back in the market, though. Okay, John. Now you know what tomorrow is going to be after a big day up, if it stays this way. You think it's going to be nasty? Sideways? Typically is after a big move. We just hit the yellow line. Let's see if we hit oh, that one is, I think this one's too steep. See how it does on this one. Trump is speaking at 11. Well, I don't think I'm going to be around for that. I got a bunch of stuff I got to do today. Didn't really have any great entries on this move up here, which is kind of unfortunate. But it looks like market still wants to move higher. I'd be careful, though, around this area, though, now that we've touched this yellow line. It's usually a good place to short. Oh, Thursday at 11. Gotcha. I forgot what we had for news tomorrow. Let's see. Tomorrow we have unemployment at 7:30. Might be worth waking up early to trade that. But not too much else going on tomorrow. Yeah, true that. Could be like FOMC when Trump's at the podium, potentially. Well, I'm just not seeing any entries here happening very soon. So, like I said, I got a bunch of stuff I got to get done today. I'm going to call it here. So if you guys are new here, join us tomorrow back at 8:15 a.m. Central Time. I'll be streaming again. And if you haven't checked out the playbook, there's a link at the top of the screen. You can download that. And like and subscribe. All right, guys, take it easy. Good luck for the rest of the day, and we'll catch you tomorrow.
Oh, wow, look at that move. It's like one of those big Delta candles. I mean, who even trades those tiny candles anymore? I like big fat candles, I can't deny. When the Delta's green and riding high, when a chart spikes thick with a bullish wick, I'm glued to my screen, that's the trick. I want to bounce quick, can't let it go. Big Delta bars, let that volume show. I'm zooming out, yeah, that's my groove. Catching waves in a Delta move. Wanna trade slow? Nah, too tame. This market's got heat, I'm in the game. Delta's skinny, not my taste. Fat candles on my happy place. Oh, traders, let me see that line. When the buyers push, I feel just fine. It's the fat move, no squeeze fake. I'm in this trend with no break. Got entries stacking tall, no weak signals, I'm all in, y'all. Skinny candles just ain't for me. Big Delta's my golden key. Sitting tight while volume pops. Green wave up won't make me stop. Short candles, nope, they're a bore. Give me fat Deltas, I want more. Like those thick moves, yeah, yeah. I wanna break through. You know, don't you fold. Big Deltas fill the chart with might. Skinny moves don't make it right. I like big fat candles, can't deny. When when the volume surges up so high. Skinny trades can take a seat. Big fat deltas are what I beat. Well, traders low, let me see that life is good. Am I happy? Delta skinny, not my taste. Fat candles on my happy place. Oh, traders, let me see that line. When the buyers push, I feel just fine. It's the fat move, no squeeze fake. I'm in this trend with no break. Got victories, stacking tall. No weak signals, I'm all in, y'all. Skinny candles just ain't for me. Big delta's my golden key. Big delta's my golden key. Sitting tight while volume pops. Green wave up won't make me stop. Short candles, nope, they're aboard. Give me fat deltas, I want more. Like those big moves, yeah, wanna break through, you know. And hold the blade, don't you fold. Big deltas fill the chart with might. Skinny moves don't make it right. Like those thick moves, yeah, wanna break through, you know. Then hold, then play, don't you fold. Big deltas fill the chart with might. Skinny moves don't make it right.